Right, okay, so today's going to be my day one. I've put it off, it's actually quite late in the day, but I needed an opportunity where I wasn't going to be distracted and I needed to film it. So it's actually happened like during the day. Anyway, regardless, so what I have here is I've got a spray. I've gone with body identical HRT because that is my preference. Like I didn't want anything synthetic. And there's literally zero risk for me taking this for the next 5 years. The only thing it could bring is benefits. And I think I also want to call out as well, whereas I always say there's no right or wrong, you can go natural, you can go HRT, but it doesn't matter. What you always need to do is diet and lifestyle. And I just want to make it clear, I haven't just jumped onto HRT. Like I've spent, I'm 47, I first saw symptoms of perimenopause when I was 37, right? So I've been working on my diet and lifestyle for quite a few years, and it's this year where I feel like a real decline in my estrogen, where diet and lifestyle are really keeping me where I'm at on my day-to-day and having a huge impact, which is important. However, sometimes when something unpredictable happens, like my child having meltdowns, I don't have the resilience to deal with those situations. Or if I do an event out of the blue and work really hard, or, you know, just occasionally put some extra hours in, it just wipes me out. So I've lost my resilience. I'm also training this year to do a half Ironman. And quite honestly, I don't even know right now if I'm going to be able to make that, because I haven't been able to train for the last few weeks because I've been wiped out, because I just keep feeling like I've got something is draining me. So, that is why I decided to take HRT, because I can't live the life I want to live right now. I don't have debilitating symptoms, like I really don't. And I think sometimes that has stopped me taking HRT because it makes me feel like I don't deserve it, or maybe I'm using it up and taking it away from someone who really needs it. And I think that's important. And that's why I want to talk about it, because I'm not suffering day to day. I'm really not. But maybe I've also forgotten what it feels like to wake up and feel really on it and amazing. You know, most days I feel quite good. Some days I feel okay. What if I could feel like fucking brilliant every day? You know, there's always that as well. So that is why I've decided to take HRT. And I don't have to stay on it, right? I'm seeing if it has a benefit to my life. And if it doesn't, then I'll stop it. I'm still doing everything I was. So I'm still making sure I eat properly. I'm still making sure I manage my stress. I exercise, I get enough sleep, etc. And all of that stuff. Because you can't, you know, the HRT will help with some things, but it's not a magic pill and it won't fix everything. You have to do everything combined. And whether HRT is in there or not is up to you. So, here we go then. Yeah, like I said, I've got a spray, and the reason I went for a spray is because body identical isn't available in a tablet, and I wanted it. Well, I don't want a patch because I swim a lot. With the gel, and I had, you know, this is all the things that you discuss in your consultation with your doctor, right? A good one. And so obviously I went with Dr. Shields, Jill Shields, and I paid for a private consultation. And we talked about the different options and the one that would work for me. So for me personally, the patch, because I'm meant to be swimming for my half Ironman and training, isn't going to work very well for me. I also think I like the idea of doing something on a daily basis, rather having something on me for a whole week, or however long you have patches on for. And then gel, I've got a 5.5-year-old daughter, and having the gel, it might, you know, I don't want to have it on my fingers and risk putting any on her skin, because she'll absorb it, right? And the last thing I want in the world is having her exposed to any more estrogen than she needs to, because that's a whole different subject. So, right, should we crack on? So I've got the spray, and I'm going to have 2 pumps of this. So I've taken this out of the box, this rather battered box that it came in, and I have to press it 3 times. And I have to take the lid off, which, yep, I've done it. Then I have to find a patch of skin here, and where my skin will fit, and push it down once. This is a bit scary. And then again for my second pump. So that, I don't know if you can see, but that's wet on my arm where I've just done that. It stinks of alcohol. It's a bit weird. I think I've only done this today because I committed to it on my social media post, to be honest. I do feel apprehensive about putting something into my body. I know this is body identical, which was only ever going to be what I considered personally. I don't even take paracetamol. I won't take ibuprofen, you know. I genuinely stay away from medication. I do have a bit of an element of I can fix most of this myself through diet and lifestyle, because majority of our stresses and symptoms are caused by that. So this might mess a little bit with my anxiety of what have I just put into my body? Do I need it? Is it doing what it's meant to do? Like, I even get the same with supplements. So if I take too many supplements, that's why I don't use lots of supplements either, because I think, again, it should be food first. Of course, if you're depleted or need some extra support, it's different. But again, if I feel like I've taken too many supplements, I can get quite anxious about that as well. So it's actually already dried. So I think it dries quicker than a gel. I don't have to rub it in. So there's, you know, it's unlikely that I'm going to get anything on my fingers. You're meant to leave it for 2 minutes. And I did notice that, you know, obviously it's alcohol, so it can be flammable. And I think that's what put me off yesterday morning, because I was cooking something in the oven and thought, I don't want to go and spray myself and then set myself alight. Anyway, so that's that. The next thing I have is Vagifem. And this is because I have mild symptoms of vaginal atrophy. Again, something that we don't talk about enough. And that can be quite debilitating for some women. And even if you don't want to take HRT, if you have vaginal atrophy, it is recommended that you seek out this. So I'm personally using Vagifem. So this is a body identical estrogen as well. And it's kind of like, so the lining in a vagina like thins, and it can tear, it can make it painful, it can make it dry. So not necessarily just when you have sex, but it could be other times as well that you really struggle with that. You can get UTIs. I don't get UTIs. I do suffer from dryness and discomfort. And so I'm going to try these. It's basically like, you know, as you age, you go and spend loads of money on a fancy moisturiser. This is basically moisturising the inside. Basically moisturising your vagina. And so why would you want to do that, right? And so especially if you feel uncomfortable having sex or bleed after sex and things like that, it could all be to do with this. But if you do have those signs and symptoms, always go and see a doctor. And obviously, I'm not a professional in HRT, right? I'm just explaining what my experience is and what I'm going through and what I'm using. And they're basically pessaries, right? So there's little stick things that you pop it up like a tampon and shoot it up. And I'm going to do 2 weeks of these daily, and then I'll go down to twice a week. And you know, I was chatting to a friend the other day who said that once she started on estrogen as a spray and everything, that she didn't even need the pessaries in the end either. And then the last thing I'll be taking is progesterone. So this is, again, body identical, micronized progesterone, and I'll be taking these for 2 weeks a month to balance out my hormones. And you need this to protect your womb when you take estrogen. But I won't be taking these until the end of the month. So for now, I'm just going to be on my Vagifem and my estrogen spray. I hope that was helpful. Let's see if I feel any different. And then obviously these things can take time. So they say give it 6 months at least. And there might be some spotting, breakthrough bleeding through that time as I adjust my body cycle to align with the hormones I'm taking as well. And some people say they felt, you know, better within a couple of weeks. And I think if people struggle with sleep, for example, and I don't personally, my sleep issues are normally due to my daughter kicking me in the head. But progesterone can be really helpful for people who struggle for sleep because you take it in the evening. Anyway, again, I am not a doctor. I do not prescribe HRT. I cannot advise you personally on HRT. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and my personal experience, and always alongside diet and lifestyle change as well. I hope that was really useful, and I'm going to keep doing little videos like this so anyone can have a look and see if it helps them on their journey.